Hello guys, my name is Jason Thomas. I'm the co-founder of Bluestick Media. This is a new video that I'm coming up with, and it's a new idea. So basically, I'll be dissecting a podcast in this video. I'm a huge fan of podcasts, so I listen to podcasts on a weekly basis. So this is a podcast that I follow. It's about artificial intelligence by Lex Fridman. So in this a particular episode, I found it very interesting. It was an episode in which Cristos Goodrow, as you can see, was featured. So he basically is responsible for the search, discovery, and the main app of YouTube. So basically, his role is to lead the algorithms in YouTube. So that's what everybody is trying to figure out, right? The YouTube algorithm. So it was a 90-minute podcast, really interesting. So what I thought to do in the video is that many people won't be having the time to see the 90-minute full video. So what I thought is to dissect the 90-minute into 5 simple points. And he is also talking about something that is not related to algorithms also in the podcast. So I'm just removing that and just trying to get all the gist of what he's talking about algorithms of YouTube into a 10-minute video. So I think this will be super interesting for anybody who's trying to get your content reach more eyeballs in YouTube. So I'm just getting over to the content. So the first thing that he recommends to get your video more attention is to have a niche. So if you ask me what niche is, that if it's a particular category in which that you are focusing on. So for basically, if you are a recipe guy, only post videos that are related to recipes. So if you are a health freak, so you just need to keep concentrating on that category. So let's see what Cristos has to say about that. Yeah.
Was to use collaborative filtering. So
can you describe what collaborative filtering is?
Sure. It's just basically what we do is we observe which videos get watched close together by the same person. And if you observe that, and if you can imagine creating a graph where the videos that get watched close together by the most people are sort of very close to one another in this graph, and videos that don't frequently get watched close together by the same person or the same people are far apart, then you end up with this graph that we call the related graph that basically represents videos that are very similar or related in some way. And what's amazing about that is that it puts all the videos that are in the same language together, for instance. And we didn't even have to think about language. It just does it, right? And it puts all the videos that are about sports together, and it puts most of the music videos together, and it puts all of these sorts of videos together just because that's sort of the way the people using YouTube behave.
So what basically he tells is that YouTube has this thing called collaborative filtering, which means that, as I've said, if your niche is social media marketing, so if you're continuously posting about social media marketing in your YouTube channel, your video might get recommended in the suggested video after Neil Patel's video or any other big social media guy's video, right? So a lot of attention is going to get into your video if you're actually getting into that niche content type of thing. So always try to build content in a niche. So let's see what's the next thing. So this thing I took it as a surprise. So he's talking about clickbaits, and what he's saying is that it's okay to do clickbaits, and he's mentioning some conditions in that. So let's get into that video.
People going to choose, and I'll tell you the same thing that I told Derek is, I have a bookshelf, and they have two kinds of books on them, science books. And, I have my math books from when I was a student, and they all look identical except for the titles on the covers. They're all yellow, they're all from Springer, and every single one of them, the cover is totally the same. Yes. Right?
Yeah.
On the other hand, I have other more pop science type books, and they all have very interesting covers, right? And they have provocative titles and things like that. I mean, I wouldn't say that they're clickbaity because they are indeed good books. Yeah. And I don't think that they cross any line, but that's just a decision you have to make, right? Like the people who write Classical Recursion Theory by Pierotti Freddy, he was fine with the yellow title and and nothing more. Whereas I think other people who wrote a more popular type book understand that they need to have a compelling cover and a compelling title, and I don't think there's anything really wrong with that. We do take steps to make sure that there is a line that you don't cross. And if you go too far, maybe your thumbnail is especially racy, or it's all caps with too many exclamation points. We observe that users are kind of sometimes offended by that, and so for the users who are offended by that, we will then depress or suppress those videos.
So yeah, as you heard, he's speaking. So what he compares the YouTube thumbnail with covers of book, right? So he is encouraging people to make it more attractive, so that it's more like it attracts more people to your video. But he says it's okay to make your thumbnail more attractive, but he says like if they found out that it's offensive to the users, they'll try to kill it. So don't be like offensive or don't be racial in creating thumbnails. Apart from that, you can actually go for it. Yeah. So the next thing is this question was a lot time asked to me by YouTubers. So I got an answer in this podcast too. So yeah, let's see.
How you make a viral video. I know that we have in the past tried to figure out if we could detect when a video was going to go viral. And those were, you take the first and second derivatives of the view count and maybe use that to do some prediction. But I can't say we ever got very good at that. Oftentimes we look at where the traffic was coming from. If a lot of the viewership is coming from something like Twitter, then maybe it has a higher chance of becoming viral than if it were coming from search or something.
So as you can hear, he says that what the algorithm tries to pick up is about the signal or the data in which from where the traffic source is coming to your video, right? So what he's telling is that the algorithm will be happier if the source was from some social media, so that they'll detect that, hey, this video has something really viral in it, so people are sharing, and the traffic source is from social media like Twitter, WhatsApp, or something like that. So if it's more from social media than from searches, maybe you will get featured in the trending, or YouTube will understand that this topic is trending right now, or the video is going to be viral, or detects that it has been viral now. Yeah, so you can actually improve your social sharing strategy. You want to get into that zone. So the next thing is about creating microcontent. So if you don't know what microcontent is, it's about if you have a long video, if you have a long podcast of 90 minutes, you can actually split it into maybe 10 9-minute videos, separating the topics that the guest is speaking about, right? So you can have upload 9 videos with 10 minutes duration. So people, if the guest is speaking about a lot of different things, like in this podcast, you can actually title each of the video in accordance to the topic that the guest is speaking, right? So it will actually get more views. So we'll see what he has to say about this.
We've done yet, but I can tell you that I think clipping is great, and I think it's actually great for you as a creator. Right. And here's the reason.
I don't think this is the thing, sorry.
If you think about, let's say the NBA is uploading videos of its games. Well, people might search for Warriors versus Rockets, or they might search for Steph Curry. And so a highlight from the game in which Steph Curry makes an amazing shot is an opportunity for someone to find a portion of that video. And so I think that you never know how people are going to search for something that you've created. And so I would say you want to make clips and add titles and things like that so that they can find it as easily as possible.
So yeah, he is supporting that. Actually, you can actually like if you have a long version video, always trim it down into smaller videos and try to do some SEO titles or descriptions onto that, so people can find that particular video. So your YouTube channel gets lots more attention than uploading a huge long format like 90-minute video, right? So yeah. So coming to the last point, that is fifth point, it's about annotations. This really surprised me. I didn't even know that. I think actually you can actually do this to your video.
Citing things in video.
So Google now on Google search will help you find the segment of the video that you're interested in. So if you search for something like how to change the filter in my dishwasher, then if there's a long video about your dishwasher and this is the part where the person shows you how to change the filter, then it will highlight that area and provide a link directly to it.
And do you know if from your recollection, do you know if the thumbnail reflects, like, what's the difference between showing the full video and the shorter clip? Do you know how it's presented in search results?
I don't remember how it's presented. And the other thing I would say is that right now it's based on creator annotations.
So yeah, I'll just show you what he's telling, right? So if I have a query about something, if I just search it on Google, now you look at this. It's an 8-minute video, but Google is suggesting me a 67 clip in which I can get the answer. So this is a good feature. So if you have a 10-minute video of cooking something, so if the query in Google is about how much salt you have to put into that dish, if you give an annotation in accordance to the times in your video, the Google results is going to show your video, and like this, as you can see in this screen, Google is going to show your video in a huge box and suggest that, hey, you can watch this much second in that video to get your answer. So giving annotations according to the content in your video is going to be crucial when it comes to getting views from Google search. So that was a really interesting tip that I got. So these are the 5 tips that I thought was really important in terms of algorithms in this podcast. So that's why I just thought that, hey, I could just dissect podcast to people who are interested in hearing the gist of the podcast. So I was thinking about whether to continue this section, the podcast dissection section. So if I get good reaction for this video, maybe giving a like or giving comment or something like that, I would continue dissecting podcasts. So that's it. So thank you guys for watching. So if you want more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. So also if you want to follow our Instagram account, Bluestick, I've given the links to following our accounts in the descriptions, and you can also follow me on Instagram. I've given that link too. So yeah, bye. Thank you guys.